R was just instructed to stop talking by Young Thug. Thug finally snaps at the man who has been criticizing him since August 2025 after months of back-and-forth snitch claims, leaked interrogation tapes, and explosive interviews. These two rappers are making the same accusations against one another. The entire Atlanta rap scene is currently choosing sides, and both say they have proof. Young Thug responded to R's accusations that he was a snitch in this way, which is why this feud may be the most repulsive outcome of the YSL Rico case to far. Many people only know Ro from this beef, so before we get into this conflict, you need know who he really is. Terrell Davis was born on February 12, 1991, and raised on the Bluff, one of Atlanta's riskiest neighborhoods. Before he ever touched a microphone, he served several music prison terms. Additionally, his genuine street reputation set him apart from many other rappers attempting to make a name for themselves when he eventually got into music around 2015. Music mixtape series like American Gangster and Diary of the Streets helped him develop a strong catalog, while songs like Can't Lie starring Future helped him get recognition. He was signed by Cash Money Records in 2016 via Birdman, and the relationship with Gucci Mane materialized when he joined 1017 Eskimo Records in 2017. R was working closely with some of the top artists in Atlanta, such as Young Thug, so his musical endeavors weren't the only thing going on. When he stated, quote, "Collaborating with guys like Thug and Yachty helped me to break into the blogs and mainstream media. I already had the streets locked." R acknowledged the importance of those relationships. These two were close friends. They were genuinely buddies. They collaborated on several songs, such as I Know Let It Go, Young Enma with Lil Yachty and Lil Uzi Vert, and Flexing on Purpose with Young Thug, Lil Uzi Vert, and 21 Savage. This beef isn't between two strangers, which is why it's so terrible. These two men, who were formerly close, are now accusing one another of being rats. Ro's career was severely wrecked in April 2018. After finding about 964 pounds of marijuana on two private aircraft connected to him, authorities detained him at the California Peach Street airfield. Nearly 1,000 pounds of marijuana worth about $1.84 million. Money laundering, racketeering, and conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute criminal firearms were among the severe federal accusations. In 2019, the federal government offered R a 5-year plea deal, but he turned it down because he wanted music to defend the case. When a judge found out that Ro was using an Apple Watch to arrange drug sales while inside, that move backfired and his bond was promptly revoked. Trapped with no way out. In the end, on March 20th to 22nd, he entered a guilty plea and was sentenced to 97 months, or around 8 years. He was released to a halfway home in October 2023 after serving about 5.5 years. Then on November 8, 2023, he was set free. These dates are significant because they play a key role in Ro's subsequent defense against Thug's charges. For Young Thug, everything changed on May 9, 2022. Thug was at the core of a large 56-count RICO indictment in Fulton County, Georgia, which listed 28 suspected YSL members. According to the prosecution, YSL, which stood for Young Stoner Life, was not just a record label, but also a criminal snort street gang connected to the Bloods that had been involved in drug sales, robberies, and murders since 2012. The ensuing criminal trial ended up being the longest in Georgia's history. One of the more contentious events occurred in December 2022 when Ganana, one of Thug's closest musicians, accepted an offer, entered a plea, and was released from prison after serving around a year. Because it was believed that Gunner had cooperated to escape, Thug felt deceived by that action and subsequently openly separated himself from Gunner. This presented Thug as the person who refused to cooperate, the one who upheld his morals, and music the one denouncing Gunner for what he perceived to be treachery. October 31st, 2024, Halloween night. At last, Young Thug agreed to a plea deal. The breakdown worked in his favor, with 2 no-contest pleas and 6 guilty pleas totaling 40 years. Serving more than 900 days equates to 5 years in prison. He was given a 15-year probationary period and a 20-year backload, which means he would only have to spend that time if he broke probation. That same evening, freedom was granted, but it came with a 10-year ban from Metro Atlanta. This full beat began on August 27, 2025. A nearly 2-hour audio recording of Young Thug conversing with cops during a 2015 interrogation became popular on YouTube and X. The tape music first appeared in November 2023, but after being disseminated by bloggers and DJ scholars, it went viral this time. In the recording, Thug was talking about Pee Wee Roscoe, a YSL affiliate who was charged with firing at Lil Wayne's tour van in 2015. This is how the important quote went. They mentioned Roscoe, but I don't want to disprove your argument by claiming that Roscoe music doesn't do that. Many people believed that Thug was confirming Roscoe's role in the shooting, and the impression of hypocrisy set in very away. This was the same Young Thug who claimed he would never comply and publicly shunned Gunner for accepting a plea. And here he was, apparently providing cops with information while on camera. Thug replied almost away on X, writing, "They didn't play my interrogation video in court because I helped my brother #ratware." He made the straightforward claim that prosecutors would have used the film against him or someone else in the YSL case if he had really snitched. In a video, Pee Wee Roscoe defended Thug by calling him clean as Listerine and claiming that he did what a real street person would do, keeping it quiet and excessively music authentic. At that point, Roscoe committed a crucial error. He called Ro Gunner and YSL Duke the actual rats while defending Thug, putting Ro squarely in the line of fire and igniting the chain reaction. Ro responded on August 28, Music 2025, and he let go. Instagram was the first to take aim at Pee Wee Roscoe. Music PXY, you forgot this one, Pee Wee. Come on, give me a chance to smash your music, little broke ass. Soon after, Ro released a remark on X that ignited the entire rap online, drawing attention to Young Thug. You contacted Lil Baby and instructed him to turn me off because my music wasn't right, even though BA had lied to the feds. That post contained a number of charges. Ro claimed to have spoken to the feds, but he had lied to them, indicating that any assistance he provided was intentional false information meant to deceive investigators. In addition, he claimed that Young Thug had called Lil Baby and instructed Baby to disconnect Ro, so undermining his business connections and placing himself in the same category as Gunner, whom Thug called a rat. Our music was implying that whatever Thug had done to Gunner would soon be reversed. The tweet was accompanied by screenshots of court documents, which Ro claimed demonstrated the falsity of his remarks to federal officials. In other words, he never revealed true facts about anyone. Seichis posted Young Thug's answer that same day, and it received over 5 million views. Music, he said plainly. You didn't lie, according to your friend. You really did tell on actual individuals. You mentioned that someone was truly arrested for anything. In an attempt to convince the detectives' music that we weren't at odds with Lil Wayne, I honestly made the error of claiming that we sold him marijuana. Can you see the difference? Not to mention that you promised Fonnie Willis that you would stand up for YFN Luchksi and me in order to get us out of jail. I made an effort to set my men free. Ralph Goon was the target of your frying attempt. Of all the accusations in the dispute, the last one was the most incendiary. Young Thug said that in exchange for an early release from prison, Ro had promised to testify against him and YFN Luchksi in their individual cases. If that were the case, Ro would be precisely what he claimed Thug was. Ro returned with his own answer, fully matching Thug's intensity. Well, let's hear it out. My friend mouthed it I tell on him __ I went federal. You went Fulton County. I never met Ani in my life, he said. And just so you know, I was one of the few Nazis shouting #FreeLucci. You snake ass and are the real reason Atlanta is broken. Show your proof like I'm showing mine. You believed yourself to be John Gotti. You're a punk on the streets. Not to mention that Big Boo took care of your Bumidar SO to the RO. When you dissect Ro's defense, it actually makes sense. Because he was in the federal system and Young Thug's case was in Fulton County State Court under District Attorney Fannie Willis, there was a jurisdictional divide. According to Ro, he never even met Willis because his case was federal rather than state. A flaw with the time frame made Thug's accusation even more problematic. Although Rowe was arrested in April 2018, acts between 2021 and 2022 were included in the YSL RICO indictment. Rowe asked a simple inquiry. In 2018, how could he have provided the federal government with knowledge regarding crimes that had not yet occurred? It's clear from his music statements. How in the world am I going to inform the federal authorities in June 2018 about some shoddy that occurred in the state in 2021 and 2022? Do you mean that I noticed a potential criminal when I went federal? That music weight is attached to that point. What precisely would Rowe have been telling the authorities if he had been imprisoned prior to the purported YSL activities music taking place? After 2 weeks, the conflict between the two men on social media became much more than that. On August 29, 2025, Rowe appeared on DJ Academic's live stream and gave a lengthy monologue in which he accused Thug of deliberately undermining Atlanta's harmony. He did nothing but lame music. He betrayed Mother King. The entire world went against Rich Homie Quan. When he turned around, he saw that Gunner was outperforming every NA in the business. He made everyone on the planet hostile to __ Gunner. He believed himself to be Pablo Escobar. Ralo claimed that young Thug has a history of betraying people, thus the charge held a lot of weight. That Thug would take action against anyone who became too successful or too close to music's level. On August 30, 2025, recorded jail calls between Thug and 21 Music Savage showed Thug talking about destroying Gunner's album release, which further intensified the situation. Another call that was released showed Music Thug referring to QCEO PRP, Thomas, as a rat. P responded right away on Instagram. Imagine some impoverished rats, like those at Thugger1 and Pee-wee Rats, attempting to fabricate a story about me. After that post, an AI-generated picture of a rat with a young Thug's face appeared, and P declared he would save his entire story for a 20 to 30 million QC documentary. In support of P, R said, the only thing worse than a person that's going against family is a snake that's trying to divide the family so they can be the mob boss. Music Thug was also publicly criticized by Whack 100 and Charleston White. Additionally, young Music Thug's sister intervened on social media on September 2, 2025, to protect her boy from Rowe. This was no longer a personal grudge. Music hip-hop in Atlanta was engaged in a civil war. Young Thug made his most comprehensive public statement since being released from prison on September 7 and 8, 2025. An almost 3-hour conversation with a large bank about their viewpoints. During the sit-down, Thug reiterated his charges against Rowe. I don't care who he told on, Manto Man Rowe. I am fully aware. Another quote struck even more forcefully. You're simply squealing. You're just trying to get out of jail with that, but... Thug denied having any personal resentment toward Ralo in spite of all the charges. I have no issues with Rowe. I hope you leave, dude. During the interview, Thug identified Rowe, Woody, Yakati, and Ganana as cooperators in his opinion. When the subject of Ganana came up, Thug became emotional and started crying while talking about the treachery. How are you going to live your life after doing what you did to me? I mean, nothing occurred. This shot has caused me to cry numerous nights. Fans didn't realize how much Thug had been impacted by the Gunner situation until then. This was personal suffering, therefore street code and legal strategy were only one aspect of it. Rowe's reaction to the large bank interview was shared on Instagram. Music, you lied and sobbed throughout an interview. No, paperwork is law on the streets, and I haven't done anything to any of you. You're either being misinformed or you're hateful. He continued to make the same point, insisting that thugs present the documentation. If there was evidence that he told anyone, make it public. Put an end to your conversation and present the documents. When Thug posted on X chapter ended on September 7, 2025, it appeared to be an attempt to conclude the chapter. I apologize to all those engaged in this scenario, and I sincerely hope that you will music pardon me. I'm making progress in my life. God, thank you. However, that chapter did not finish. Not even near. Everything was rekindled in March 2026. Young Thug's name appeared on Boozy Bazza's list of rappers who refused protective custody while incarcerated. What PC implies for a rapper's credibility sparked a huge PC controversy that included Meek Mill and Kodak Black. On No Jumper, Young Thug himself made a comment. A PC is more intelligent than a hard shack, but it will just cause you more problems and pain from your family and children. Thug was effectively stating that it's not worth it to refuse protective custody in order to appear musically tough if it leads to more issues, which made his statement intriguing. Thug ain't gone to no federal prison yard, R said, spotting an opening. Imagine being called a rat and still music walked every yard with my chest out. He had that week in trial and now he thinks he's Escobar. R's argument was that he was accused of snitching while serving actual federal time and walking yards in federal prisons. No PC standing on what he was standing on, no hiding. Young Thug finally lost it at that point. On March 12, 2026, Hot 97 published his response. You're correct, OG. Ro st few. Simply said, there are some among us that the cops despise and are eager to file charges against. Thus, the issue is case by case. However, you're overly correct if you act like gangsters and stand on whatever comes with it, fashion. However, I am because I was greatly despised by the cops. They attempted every kind of music. The tone here is intriguing since, despite telling Ro to stop talking, Thug really agrees with him on the PC problem, calling Ro overly right about music standing on what you stand on while outlining his own stance. He was deliberately targeted by the police, who made every effort to apprehend him. There was dismissive energy music, but not the same fierce intensity as in August. It seemed as though Thug was sick of it all. A few days before to that ROSTFU incident on March 11, 2026, Ro made an appearance on a live webcast alongside Lil Woody, a crucial witness in the YSL Rico case. A potential meeting between Young Thug, Gunner, Lil Baby, and Yfen Lucci was questioned. And Ro gave a passionate response. I support it wholeheartedly. I can't even play those stupid games with you. I'll slap this tiara not open to a face-to-face discussion, but I want to be clear that things could turn violent. When you take a step back from all of this, you can see that Thug and Ro's feud is actually merely a symptom of something much larger. Young Thug spent more than 900 days behind bars as a result of the YSL Rico case. Thug and Gunner, Thug and QC, Thug and Ro, and dozens of secondary relationships were ruined as a result of that case, which shattered the whole Atlanta rap scene. On August 31, 2025, DJ Academics recorded it. In Atlanta, there has always been a great deal of animosity, covert rivalry, and ratting. For more than 10 years, they did a fantastic job of keeping it a secret. It's officially over. Social media is full with their dirt. This is the true tale. The unity of Atlanta, or at least its semblance, has been destroyed. Tensions that were kept under wraps for years are finally visible to the public. There are hints that some of these wounds may be healing. On December 3, 2025, Lil Baby released Superman featuring music Young Thug. In the leaked version of the song, where Thug originally music rapped, there was a gun of disc. The truth was the only reason I __ with you, Gunner. When the official version was released, that line was eliminated. The Gunner disc had vanished. It's a little issue, but it shows that at least some individuals are attempting to prevent the fractures from getting worse. Perhaps there is yet a possibility to put some of this back together. The conflict between music Young Thug and Ro remains unresolved as of March 2026. R says he's willing to sit down or engage in a confrontation, but he cautions that things could get violent. Thug alternates between asking R to shut up and somewhat agreeing with him, like he did with protective custody. The final documents that would definitively resolve these accusations have not been provided by either party. The central query at the center of this whole narrative is still unresolved. Who actually did cooperate? In reality, who told? Who told lies? When you face decades in state or federal jail, can the street code even endure? There isn't a clear solution here. There is no obvious good guy or bad guy. Two men who were once buddies are accusing each other of the same thing. They both assert that they have evidence, and they both witnessed the disintegration of their city's rap scene. Young Thug retaliated at R by telling him to stop talking. And there is no end in sight to this battle that began back in August 2025. Look at the videos that are displayed on your screen.